What is up, fam? What is up, squad? So your boys out here, with another video, something very different. So it's a podcast, and so we're gonna do. It's a father and son podcast. Talk about business or fitness or nutrition, lifestyle, or whatever we talk about. And say what's up to the vlog.
Yeah, this is Chris DJ. I'm Steven's father, so we're gonna talk about anything under the sun. Like a while ago, we were talking about lifestyle. The difference between the lifestyle in Australia and here in the Philippines.
So
might as well just continue that topic.
So
what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. The living costs, I'm not gonna lie about, speaking what we were talking about, like, earlier, just, like, 30 seconds ago about, living costs, here in Australia. It's actually not too bad. It's not like most, countries like Sweden and, Sweden, France, and, all those European countries that, like, they're very expensive, and Italy. It's not that bad as them, but here in Australia it's actually not bad, but the living cost. But what's the living cost like in the Philippines? Can you explain to my podcast?
Well, actually, you can live here for very cheap. Like, for example, let me set an example, then you set an example.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, when I wake up in the morning, what I do is just drink instant coffee, Nescafe instant coffee. So, how much is that worth? Maybe like
10 cents.
10
I've learned it from school. It's that they
10
cost
pesos for
yeah.
one cup, and then what I eat is just vegetables, which I
and street food as well. You eat street food, like very cheap, like side road, like local street food. It don't cost.
Well, not anymore because of the lockdown, but there's a vendor with a cart who sells vegetables like cabbage and cucumbers, and then sweet potato leaves. I just steam them up and eat them with some sauce, like chili sauce or whatever. So that may probably cost around 50 pesos. Or less than.
That's like $1.
How much is that?
Convert it into
how much is that in dollars?
$1 and something. $1 and something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I also do that's what I also eat for dinner. So I can live here for a day with just maybe a little over.
What about
maybe $4 or $5?
That's because
How about you?
Okay, speaking of that, before we get straight into me, so let's go through, what about like accommodation for people like foreigners, about how much will it be cost to travel in the Philippines? I know it's very expensive, some of the parts, like
yeah.
Like
I know what you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about hotels.
Yeah, no, it's just in general though, like hotels, maybe locals. Even locals cost $60 like a night, they say, if you go into like the islands or something.
Oh yeah, because just in case you guys don't know, Stephen and I like to travel around the Philippines. We've been to
a few places.
Boracay, La Union.
That was in 2013. Boracay was 2013 as like family, like my other dad, my mom, my grandma who passed away last year, and my little sister, and my other dad right here. We're talking now.
Yeah. So let's say for example, staying in Boracay. If you're a solo traveler, you could probably stay in a hostel, and what they say is that in Boracay, the prices went expensive, so it might cost you maybe $50 a night. That much.
That is a bloody rip-off. What the actual fuck? That is like.
I know it.
That is like hella over the top. Like, it's just cheaper. Like what you said when we like talk like the previous talk, it's cheaper to pitch a tent. But the only risky part about it, the cons is what if someone robs you or something, like steals your goodies and all that.
Yeah, I know, right? Because if you pitch a tent and you're a solo traveler, who's gonna look after the things you're going to leave in the tent, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You aren't going to you're not gonna carry all your gear and your things all the time, right? And what if you have to pee and you feel like taking a shower?
and it's very embarrassing. But the only part, what about those monkeys? Well, I'm not gonna say monkey, but that's my expression. What about those? Because those monkeys are very fast, and they can even pitch pocket your stuff and all that. I know how the locals work over there. They're it was Speedy Gonzalez. It's like my little baby cousin. He's pretty fast. He's pretty fast.
That's it. That's actually true. We went to Subic one time, and the fam forgot to close the windows, and the family of monkeys, I don't know, just ransacked the whole place. Got all the potato chips and whatever beef jerky, all the food they could get. They stole it.
Oh yeah. What another thing? So living over there, going on holiday is actually, it's not too bad. Depends where you're going. I've even watched vlogs. They say to people it's very expensive, but the only cheaper way is maybe collab with hotel rooms and maybe promote them. If you're just say you're a vlogger influencer, and just say that. And another way to do it is actually find friends that you can get contact with, because nowadays it's a very small world. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very small world. I could get contact with anyone else, nearly anyone who lives in different countries. I've made friends in the Philippines as well, and I even got friends here who lives in the Philippines as well. Some of them lived, sometimes some of them go in and out of the place as well. But I recommend staying at your friends is cheap, or either find just pinch a tent and sleep at a safe place, I guess.
Yeah, maybe sleep on their yard. Ask them if you can pitch a tent.
At their yard or
ask
something.
them if you can use their bathroom and their whatever, just to keep your valuables, right? So let's get straight into my lifestyle and stuff, Australia, just the holiday in general, and living costs. Well, I could say, speaking of living in Australia, right? Well, it's very not too pricey. Let's say in the mid range, not too expensive, not too cheap or anything, in between and stuff. And I would say the rough estimate living cost would be $1,000 weekly. So you're paying rent. It depends. You have to gas up fuel. You have to get your food. Depends. You have to pay your bills, electrician, your fees and all that stuff. It makes it a lot expensive living here, but I'm not specifically sure, but a rough estimate would be $1 to $2,000. It depends what area you live, but the area's cost right around living here is actually $400 a week. It depends, up to there. You can get it cheaper, $200. It depends what type of house you want. You want to rent out, but the most expensive you can rent a rent out is actually up to $2,000, but it's actually a mansion here in Australia. But where I live, it's Perth. I think it's somewhere around around Joondalup area, around there. Joondalup is an hour drive from the airport, if you guys know. And there's a few mansions you can rent out, but mansions here, it's actually not too pricey. But the most expensive mansion is actually all in New South Wales. They cost around $20-30 million Australian dollars. If you go to New South Wales. Yeah. But let's say, for example, you're just starting out there, you're just a fresh graduate from high school. and you want to live on your own, what do you do? Do you like rent an apartment? Do you rent a studio, a flat?
So
Then
let's say let's say I wanna move out around 18, 9, 20 around there. Then what I wanna do is rent a house or something, not a house but like a studio apartment, so I can just like live there and film all my stuff. Like if I'm doing like a production company or something, or working like collabing with people and all that stuff. So I want to actually like rent like something not too expensive. Like a studio could be pricey, but like it just depends what you're getting. I would say a rough estimate renting a house, like I said, is $400 a week. I could say that for fact because it's not cheap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
it is kind of expensive. Yeah.
But speaking of the living costs, about let's say food. So if you go on a food, let's go like the pub, the bar, or something, or a restaurant. You're looking to buy a meal is $20 a plate, which is some of the meals can be filling, some of them not. And there's a lot of promo deals coming up as well. Which, like I know it's not now because some of the business are closed, and I know it's affecting the economy as well, and like that type of business, like small business industry is being affected. But there's a lot of promos out there which is so cheap. Like you get the Macca's app, you get $2 fries. You get the Hungry Jack's app, which is you get free. Like, can't you believe you get free coffee if you download that Hungry Jack's app?
Yeah, but you're talking about junk food. We're health buffs, right? So
it can be.
Let's say for example, you want to get a head of cabbage and just steam it. How much would that cost?
Oh, rough estimate cabbage. Oh, that's a really good question. So, speaking of shopping, yes, shopping is actually very expensive. It depends what you're getting. I would say your $100 worth would get you like it depends what your family love to eat. Let's say you get this is a really tough one. Two soft drinks cost $2. Frozen
what soft drinks are you talking about? We're health buffs. You remember?
You're the nang.
We're talking about like veggies. We call each other nang,
okay,
right?
Okay, what do you call this? So, speaking of veggies,
not soft drinks, about veggies.
Veggies, $2, which is that's a rip-off, if I could say. I know $2 is nothing. I know you guys gonna complain. $2 is nothing. Oh, it's like penny. I could say that for a fact. It's like a penny, and processed healthy food. Like since my dad says talk about healthy, not soft drinks. See, okay. So processed food. It depends. I'll say rough estimates $5 to $10, whatever meal you're getting.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Can you just give us a very rough estimate of how much you spend per day, like in an ordinary day,
okay,
not like during the COVID?
Yeah, during this lockdown. So when I used to when I used to be out and about, just ever since this lockdown's been, since I've been isolating. So I spend I get my parents, I get like $50 a week, sometimes maybe like 20. It depends what they're giving, and even sometimes I get that much. But what I do, so I have public transport, so I put $10 with my public transport. Then in most days I'll take my bike or something, or even what do you call it, maybe take a bike, or depends, or maybe if one of my mates can give me a lift home or something, or and another rough estimate is food.
That's food.
Your thing?
Yeah, hold on one thing. And
then how about going to the gym?
Going to the
Much you have to
gym.
pay for that?
Oh, this one's a really tough one. Depends. It's $14.95 a weekly, and then another thing with what do you call it, with that is a bit pricey, but it's not too bad. And yeah.
Yeah. So in general, I mean, in a rough, very very rough estimate, how much do you spend per day?
Alright, since I'm a bit like stingy and fussy, I reckon I spend like $5. It just depends. Most days I spend $5-10. Sometimes I don't.
Oh, not bad. That's not bad.
Just me.
And then you talked, and then you mentioned something about riding a bicycle to go to wherever, like go to the
actually
skate
helps
park
like
or going to the gym.
Yeah, it helps for the environment as well. Like it's like because I think like there's people working on this futuristic project, like stuff like charging your car and stuff like paying for gas and fuel.
Right. Actually, it is one of the best ways to move around without spending and consuming fuel, right? So it's really actually good for the environment.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's about it. That's a general perspective of the lifestyle here in the Philippines compared to Australia.
Yeah,
so listen to our next podcast.
I hope you guys enjoy, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And I know it's boring without doing a broadcast, so we call it podcast. And see you next video.